Good day, ROFFS analyst James here, and it is currently Wednesday, September 25th. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Today we'll be taking a quick look at the ocean conditions from Cape Hatteras down to the Florida Keys and in the Bahamas using sea surface temperature and ocean color imagery that you likely would have encountered if you went offshore this past weekend. Overall, we continue to observe the larger eddy formations developing near the Charleston Ridge off of the Georgetown Hole area shown here. You can see multiple eddy formations forming as the Gulf Stream hits the Charleston Ridge area, with a smaller one forming further south, likely beginning to overtake the larger eddy formation. Of note has been the relative strength of this counterclockwise rotation that has recently pulled one of these cooler filaments of water back inshore and along the ledges off of Cape Fear, and sent it back out to the Gulf Stream as it continued moving southwest to move along the western side of the Gulf Stream as another addition to the cooler eddy filament moving offshore. As a result, we anticipate the potential for continued, so to speak, tumbling action as these cooler filaments might get pulled back southwest along the ledges between Georgetown and Cape Fear, while smaller filaments get released to continue heading northeast off of Cape Lookout and Cape Hatteras. Switching over to our ocean color imagery, you can really see this pattern a little bit better. Again, here's the smaller eddy formation moving offshore with the larger one that had been pulled back southwest and then joined up with this smaller eddy formation as it got pushed back towards the Georgetown Hole area. This pattern may continue over the next week or so as a series of several smaller eddy formations continue to move northwards along the eastern coastline of Florida from the Palm Beaches to Jacksonville. As you can see here, multiple eddy formations moving northwards from Palm Beach up to Jacksonville area. Flipping back to our SST imagery for the Bahamas, we have observed a region of cooler water appearing to push back southwest to the north of Abaco and Walker's Key. This is due to a large clockwise rotating eddy formation along the eastern side of the Gulf Stream, as well as several smaller eddy formations moving away from Abaco due to a larger clockwise rotation centered northeast of Abaco. So this cooler water gets pulled back in and then pulled back towards the eastern side of the Gulf Stream. What this has done, flipping to our ocean color imagery, is you can see a large area of that darker blue Bahamas water getting pulled along the ledges north of Abaco and Walker's Key before getting pulled either southwest by these smaller eddies or heading back to the northwest along the eastern side of the Gulf Stream. Keep in mind some of these features, particularly those towards the Florida Straits off of Key West and South Florida over the coming week or so, may likely change dramatically with the movement of Hurricane Helene through the Yucatan Channel and into the eastern Gulf of Mexico. Currently, we continue to observe the larger gyre as the loop current enters the Gulf Stream area off of the Marquesas and Rebecca Shoal and all that. However, several smaller eddy formations continued to be shed by this larger gyre, contributing to the number of eddies moving northwards along the east coast of Florida. However, this overall feature could be changed as the tropical storm Helene moves northwards just to the west of Cuba. Remember, these ocean conditions are always changing, so be sure to head to ROFFS.com or call our offices at 321-723-5759 to order updated analyses for each of these areas. Have a good week.